Let's move to the heavyweight division. Firstly, and introducing to you, fighting under the blue corner, he's wearing the purple trunks trimmed with red and white, weighing 12 stone and 8 pounds, and brings a 17-fight record, 10 wins and only 7 defeats. And he is the current Midland area light heavyweight champion from Coventry. Would you please welcome Neil Simpson? And fighting in the green corner, he's wearing the green trunks trimmed with black. He weighed in at 12 stone and 8 pounds. He's undefeated to professional, 9 contests, 9 wins and 3
Danny Peters then unbeaten in 9 fights to date, only 23 years of age. This would be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, Danny's a classy boxer. I haven't seen Simpson fight before, but hopefully it'll be as good as his second fight.
Yes, Neil Simpson's a very gritty performer. I saw him beat Darren Ashton in something of an upset at Solihull in 3 rounds, and he beat Greg Scott Briggs on a 7th round disqualification to become Midlands area champion. And Briggs actually got thrown out for biting. So this one is scheduled for 6 rounds. And I'd say, Shay, quite a difficult comeback this for Danny Peters.
Yeah, it's not an easy fight for him. But if he'd been boxing regularly, I don't think he'd been boxing at this weight, to be honest with you, Steve.
Yes, that's right, Shay. He does look quite fleshy, doesn't he, bodily?
He's got incredibly fast hands, Danny Peters, Steve.
But do you think he's retained that speed at this weight?
I think Danny could beat heavyweight, to be honest with you, Steve, with his boxing ability and his speed. He's just that type of a lad.
Well, Neil Simpson not at all overawed by this partisan crowd in Liverpool. He's going looking for it and not doing too badly so far. And of course, everything Peters does, this Liverpool crowd will cheer. Nice well-timed jab then from Peters. Obviously shaking off a bit of rust in this opening session. I remember seeing Peters pick up probably his best win against Carlo Colarusso, always a very dangerous opponent from Wales, in this very ring. The one thing I think that Peters does handle well is a big puncher.
Yeah, he often rides the punches by moving back, Steve, before they get settled.
But with only 3 knockouts on his record in 9 fights, 9 wins, there's a bit of doubt about his own punching power, Shay, isn't there?
Well, he's never been a really concussive hitter, Steve, but no, he hits hard enough to keep an opponent off. But he's, as I say, he's moved up from light middle. Now he's fighting light heavies. It's like unknown territory, really, isn't it, Steve?
Absolutely. A stone and a half difference, of course, in the weights. And, well, it looks like Peters has found his feet again after a bit of a layoff. But I think there's bags of fight left in this one. The Midlands area champion in the shape of Neil Simpson, not at all overall by Peters, and knows what he's up against now. Well, I think it's fair to give Peters that opening round a good start, I think, in the first minute for Simpson. Then Peters found his feet and started using his skill.
Yeah, he was catching him a lot with the jab and feinting a lot. It's as the fight progresses, I can see it becoming a lot harder.
Yes, I'll go along with that.
Okay, you're not using it at the moment.
And a couple of other good wins for Neil Simpson. He beat Kenny Nevers and Tony Booth. And he's also mixed in good company when losing, i.e. to Craig Joseph, Stephen Wilson from Scotland and Dean Francis. So he's had some very good form, although he's not always won. Tony Green calls them out for round 2. Oh, good right hand there by Peters. Well, Peters, he fancies this now, Shay, doesn't he? He's looking for the early finish.
He's very, very correct the way he punches, Steve, isn't he? You know, everything about him is class.
Yes, you don't see Peters often caught with silly punches. He's quite adept to both defence and attack. And if he has developed the punch at this weight, although I'm pretty sure we'll see him bubble out at middle or super middle, that'd be a very useful thing, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. If he had the punch, he'd have it all, Steve.
Once again, nice skillful move then from Peters, feinted to one side and cracked in a good shot. Once again, lovely skill this by Peters. Left hook to the body, left hook to the head. Lovely little right uppercut. And again, lovely right hand. And as you so rightly said, Shay, he does look the complete article, except for a big shot. But that doesn't always matter, does it?
No, Steve, you know, I don't think I've ever really seen Danny in 100% fitness. I'd love to see him, you know, I'd say super middle, he got in top shape. I think he'd be unbeatable.
So why was he out of action?
I don't know, to be honest with you, Steve.
Of course, so many fighters come in and drift away again, don't they, from this sport? And in fact, you're a case in point, because you were out of action for about 14 months, weren't you, before you won your championship?
No, it was 8 months, Steve, before to Terry Sutherland, and 8 months later I fought for the title.
That's right, sorry, yes. Still quite a break. Well, Neil Simpson there pretty comprehensively outboxed by Danny Peters there in round 2 of the scheduled 6. So there is Danny Peters. Then whereabouts in Liverpool does he come from, Shay, exactly?
He's from a place called Nedley in Liverpool. If you know that area, Steve.
That's a nut house, isn't it, Netley?
No, I don't know. I don't think.
No, I've no idea. I've no idea where Netley is.
Nedley.
Oh, sorry, Netherley. My apologies. Say I can't even say it right. So, Danny Peters, is he an Everton supporter like yourself?
Yeah, I think he is. I've seen him at the match a couple of times. Him and Pat McCormick.
Oh, yes. So there we go then for round 3, and so far I think it's quite fair to say that as gritty as Neil Simpson is, and we know he is, he's finding Danny Peters a bit too slippery in this match. Once again, lovely skills by Peters. Of course, you must have worked out many a time with Danny Peters in the gym.
Yeah, there's done a lot of sparring. We were at the same amateur club together, the Golden Gloves. Used to go home with a lot of headaches when he used to spar Danny. Looks like he's got a cut underneath the right eye, Simpson.
Yes, it does. A nasty cut has appeared on the cheek. Well, there's no such thing as, of course, a good cut, but a cut has appeared on the cheek of Neil Simpson. Possibly a clash of heads, I'd say. Of course, it wouldn't, at this stage, have much bearing on the fight, but it won't do his confidence any good.
Danny, keep it cool.
Of course, you picked up a nasty cut against the American Sutherland, and it spurred you on, didn't it?
I knew we had to come out with and come and do something, Steve. You know, last round, last chance, and I just caught him, luckily.
Well, it was a wonderful punch, if anyone remembers that one. How could you forget? And of course, it completely rendered Sutherland senseless. I'm not too sure that Simpson carries that kind of single punch power. And of course, there's nothing too alarming about getting cut under the eye.
He's working very well on his jab this round, Simpson. Danny seems to have gone into his shell a little bit.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there's a bit of a swelling around Danny Peters' left eye, where that jab from Simpson has been sinking in, and he's blinking a wee bit. Maybe that's why he's backed off. Nice jab, as you said, from Simpson, and there's some blood now. I'm not sure if it's from Simpson's gloves or in fact on Peters' face, because he's picked up a nick. I'm not honestly sure about that. Wait, well, there's blood on his nose. Yes, a nasty nosebleed there for Danny Peters, and that's the left hand that's caused it.
I know that Peters hasn't had the adequate sparring for this fight, Steve. And, you know, I just hope that he can maintain a pace right the way through the fight.
Well, I've never seen him looking like this, with blood splashed all over his face. So obviously that left hand of Simpson's is taking its toll. And if he's not fully tuned up, as you've said, I mean, this is the kind of man to find him out. Well, I'll give that to Simpson, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think Simpson took that round.
Yeah, some good left-hand work then from Neil Simpson. Bloodied the nose of Danny Peters. So a touch of replay here. And nice little left to the body there from Peters. So there he is then, and George Schofield and Kenny Willis in the corner. Of course, George himself a fair fighter in his day.
Yeah, he had a couple of right old tear-ups with another Liverpool fighter, Brian Snag.
Absolutely. Of course, still the best of mates.
Yeah, very much so, Steve.
It's the halfway stage of the 6-round match. Danny Peters, as Shay intimated, just backed off a wee bit there in round 3, allowed Sinclair to get into things. And as you can see, the left eye of Peters just a bit swollen. And of course, Peters will want to make good this 4th round. Otherwise, Simpson will start to fancy things.
Simpson looks like he's getting a little bit closer to Danny as the fight's progressing, Steve. It looks like Danny's nose has gone there, is it?
Yes, it does look a bit flat, doesn't it? Well, it's certainly swollen, that's for sure. Whether that's an indication of a crack in the nose is something else entirely. But as you've said, you know, without competitive sparring for a sufficient period, the body can get soft, can't it?
Yeah. you got to prepare well in this game, Steve. If you don't, you know, when you get in the ring, you get found out. I don't think it's down to Danny not wanting to spar. It's just that people, you know, they don't want to get punched too much. And Danny Etcheni, you know, he's not a light guy, and he punches very correct, so he hits.
Absolutely, yes, and I'm pretty sure, as you said, that nose of Peters has got some damage, no doubt about that. It's what we call a Roman nose. It's Roman all over his face. Of course, that's an exaggeration, but it's not the Danny Peters that came into the ring, is it?
No, he seems to be a bit slower on his feet, but he's got a big heart, Danny, and, you know, he'll pick up again.
Was a nice exchange. Peters just getting the edge there, and it looks like he's woken up now and found his second wind. Well, there's really not been a great deal, I don't think, in round 4.
I don't know who won that one, Steve, to be honest with you. It was very close, wasn't it?
You're on top, son, you're on top. You were.
Well, Shay, I think we'll agree that was a pretty level round.
Yeah, Simpson seemed to be, you know, well, getting on top of Danny there, you know, getting close to him, stopping him from working.
Bit of replay here from that 4th round. Lovely uppercut from Peters and a left hook to follow. In fact, that was that nice little flurry there of punches from both men. And I think it bears out that Peters won that exchange. So, Danny Peters still, in our opinion anyway, around in front. Possibly round 4 could have gone his way as well. To be 2 up, but no doubt about Simpson winning round 3. And this is the penultimate round. Still mathematically possible for Simpson to cause an upset here. The unbeaten Danny Peters might just have got his second win towards the end of round 4. And he might just need it. Well, Danny Peters now more intent on getting on the inside there. Doesn't want to do too much work on the outside, Shay. That's obviously a sign of fatigue, isn't it?
Yeah, he's moving around and he's standing still again. When he moves around, he looks class.
Well, no great snap now in Peters' work, and Simpson taking advantage of a fairly lacklustre first minute or so of round 5.
Might be finding it hard to breathe through that nose, you know, Steve.
Yes, that's a point. Well, it's been quite a bloody encounter, this, and once again, Peter's nose spilling blood all over the place. And that looks quite bad, doesn't it? Bad enough to suggest it is broken.
Yeah, I'd say it was broken, Steve. I've never ever seen Danny like bloody like that. I don't think this is the weight he should be fighting on, to be honest with you, Steve. You know, I think he could win the British title, at least as a super middle.
Well, for me, that's a round for Neil Simpson. Much more positive.
Now let's go. This last round, come on now.
I think that Danny was he started off well, but when he was moving, Steve, he was looking good. When Simpson started getting inside, using that natural light heavyweight, obviously his strength told over Danny in the end.
Yes, I got along with that. Well, there doesn't look to be much between them at this point. We've got it 2 rounds each and 1 even.
Yeah. This last round's the decider, Steve, I think.
Once again, a good crowd here at this John Highland, this Monroe Highland promotion in association with Frank Maloney and Panex Promotion. Well, I'm terribly sorry about the breaking picture there. We're back, though. This is the 6th and final round of Danny Peters against Neil Simpson. Peters in the green and black stripes. And it's been a very close fight up to now. We've got it dead level. In fact, 2 rounds apiece of 1 even. And it could all be on this final round. What say you, Shay?
It's whoever wants it most now, Steve.
Yes, and of course the final decision rests with our referee, Tony Green. He's the sole arbiter in fights of this nature in Britain, unlike the rest of the world and the continent. And of course in British rings, fights are scored by the half-point margin. Whichever way this one goes, it's going to be close.
A nice shot to the head there, Steve, right to.
Yes. And of course a very difficult task for Simpson coming to Liverpool. This is of course enemy territory for him, but he's not done at all badly, has he?
Oh, he's boxed very well, but he's fighting really a naturally lighter man, but he's given his all, and he's not doing too bad, is he, Steve?
Yes, I'm miffed really, as to why Danny Peters would want to come back this weight. I mean, another 3 months, 4 months, and he could of course come back possibly near the weight he packed it in at light, middle or middleweight possibly.
Christmas is just round the corner, Steve, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that, Shay. Of course it is.
He's working well inside there, Danny. Stealing the points.
Yes, a nice little right over the top as well. And this Liverpool crowd trying to get behind their man, looking for 10th consecutive win. Well, Danny Peters just hanging on at the moment, I think. It's a reasonably close last round, but Peters just got the edge, Shay.
That was the left hook to the body, Steve. Beautiful.
It's a lovely left hook there to the body from Neil Simpson. Best front of the fight so far from him, and it made Peters' legs dip. Nice right over the top. Well, Peters just possibly containing things in this final round. It's going to be close, though. Where's he going to go? He's gone for Danny Peters, and Peters wins for the 10th time in as many starts. And this crowd are delighted that he gets it. Neil Simpson obviously disappointed. Peters just nicking it, Shay, on that final round.
Yeah, I think that combination inside to the body, Steve, picked up a lot of points, but it was very close that round.
Yes, and I'm sure Johnny Griffin, Simpson's manager, would prefer a draw out of that one. We wait, of course, for Tony Green's final score. There can't be much in it, Shay.
No, you're right there, Steve.
In fact, I wouldn't complain at a draw, 2 rounds each and 2 even.
That's how close it's been, Steve, but maybe they might just sway for the own fighting.
For Simpson, 58.5 points. For Peters, 59 points. Your winner, and still undefeated, Liverpool Dandy Boy, Peters.
So Peters wins it 59-58.5, and that translates 3 rounds to 2 and 1 even. Well, I suppose I won't argue with that, Shay.